Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties getting started on the live stream. If you're coming over from one of the previous failed ones, I apologize for that. Thank you for coming to the new one. Welcome to the Silver Bullet Trader first real official YouTube live stream. Today, we're going to be going over my process and how I trade and everything like that. Just to kind of get you familiar with what I'll be doing in my channel, I'm going to be simply just looking to trade using the ICT concepts and the ICT Silver Bullet entry model. The idea behind this channel is pretty simple. We trade futures, primarily NASDAQ, and I'll walk you through exactly what I'm looking at and how I'm doing it. This isn't going to be a channel where I just show you winning screenshots or after the fact things that, could be looked at and say, oh, he manufactured something. We're going to be looking at real live price action and live trader analysis concepts and how I internalize and view market structure and take trades, obviously. We'll walk through the entire setup, from waiting for the setup to managing risk, taking the trade, wins, losses, and days where I might not take a trade. Today we're going to get familiar with my process and look at the market and live charts, and I'll show you what I'm looking for, and we'll look to see if we can take a trade possibly. Like I said, anybody who is familiar with ICT is going to feel right at home here in my stream. If you aren't familiar with ICT concepts or the Silver Bullet entry methodology or model, this is going to be a lot of good information for you. As you keep coming back to my streams, you'll notice that there's going to be a continual theme of a recurring process. I'm using technical analysis along with price action charts to help me find entry models and entry techniques. And then obviously the goal of any trader is to make money. And so that's what we're going to try to do today. And moving forward, in every stream, there's going to be a recurring theme of, you'll see me talk about liquidity levels. You'll see me talk about where price is going next. I'm not claiming to be a fortune teller or a future seeker, but we're trying to predict where price is going to go next, and try to hit targets, price targets. So for tonight, before I think of even entering anything, I'm going to map out kind of some important levels that I'm looking at in the charts. And I want to identify some highs and lows that I believe price is going to want to draw towards. And one thing you'll notice with my trading is that I'm not trying to predict every candle. I may predict where price is going to go next, but on a candle by candle basis, that's something that that's not something that I'll be doing. I'll be looking to be more of a precision entry kind of person, kind of trader, and then look for it to hit my targets. I'm looking for a simple, basic model, nothing crazy. It's simple in nature, and I try to make it that way. If there's not a confirmation, then I won't enter a trade. I'm looking for specific things, like I said. And if there's no setup tonight, there's no setup. I'm not going to force something just because we're live. So if you like what you see during this live session, go ahead and let other people know about it. We'd love to have more people in the stream. So I'll try to explain as we go throughout this charting session, this live session, what I'm looking for in detail, especially during the first one, because we're looking for very specific things. And if you're not familiar with my way of trading, this will all be new to you. If I take a trade, I'll explain where I'm entering, where my stop loss is, what I'm targeting, and most importantly, what would prove that my setup is wrong. Sometimes as traders, we get it wrong, and that's the nature of the game. The nature of the game is to preserve capital and to mitigate risk as much as possible. So, speaking of the chat, if you're here, thank you for joining again. Appreciate your time. I'm really excited to start this off. Speaking of the chat, I usually will like to engage with the chat more at the beginning of the streams, and then when we're actually getting towards the trading portion of it, we're going to be more focused, more locked in, and we're going to be looking for those trades. So I'll try to interact with people as much as I can throughout the stream, but if we're locked in, we're looking for a trade, or we're in a trade, that's more where I'm focused on the charts and the analysis part of it and managing risk. And then after the trade happens, whether it's a win or a loss or a draw, a break even, we can talk about that, and we'll go over and we'll review the trade, and then we'll kind of end the stream. So that's where that's how I want to structure these sessions. I really want to focus on being professional. So if you're in the chat, appreciate you chatting and posting what you would like. Please keep it for professional, and I'll keep it professional on my side as well. Just some expectations for our stream and moving forward. One thing I want to make clear from the beginning is that I'm not trying to make trading look perfect. I'm not a perfect trader, so if that's what you're looking for, I'm not it. But what I do try to do is I try to take a professional approach to market analysis and trading. So there's going to be winning trades, losing trades, and like I said, sessions where I don't take a trade at all, and that's just part of the game. So everything on this stream is for educational purposes and entertainment purposes. Nothing I'm doing should be considered as financial advice, and everybody needs to make their own decisions when managing their own risk and managing their own money. In any financial market and futures, which we'll be trading today, there is significant risk of loss and or losing all of your money. So I take that very seriously. So if you push a button, it's not my button to push. I will be pushing only my buttons. So I don't want to be credited with any wins, losses, or break-even trades that you take. Everything that you do is your own doing, and I can't claim any responsibility for what you do. So with that out of the way, let's get to the charts. Let's start mapping out some liquidity and price levels and see what we can find out. Unfortunately, with our technical difficulties, I would have liked to start the stream earlier at around 5:30 my time. Eastern time is what our charts are configured for. So you'll see down here at the bottom of the chart that there is a time part on the bottom of the chart. So I would have liked to start the stream right here. Obviously that didn't happen due to some difficulties. We got that figured out, luckily, and now we're here. So what do? This is how I will start off all of my sessions looking at the charts, is I'm going to start mapping out some liquidity levels. Liquidity levels are simple. They're highs and lows. They're really easy to spot. This is a high, this is a low, this is a low, this is a high, and then there's smaller levels. This is a high, and there's smaller levels on the low side, like this is a low. So you have more prominent highs and more prominent lows, and then you have these minor highs and these minor lows. So what I'm looking for is target basis. These are my targets. So if I was to mark this out on my chart, I'm going to mark this out as a buy side liquidity pool. And I really like this as a sell side liquidity pool. These are kind of the levels that I was interested in before the stream started. And I was expecting obviously in hindsight now it's hard to explain, but if I stream later on in the evenings like this, I'm going to be looking for a setup around 8 o'clock. And this is 8 o'clock right here. So this is what we're looking for. I also have a low just to mark it out right here. There's a low right there. That is a sell side liquidity pool. So what I'm looking for right here, I don't really have a bias. I'm not looking for it to trade in either direction at this moment. So what I would like to see as a setup is us draw towards, since we took out this level of buy side liquidity, I'm going to move this line up to here. And what I want to see is I want to see at least a 5-minute candle close higher after taking out this liquidity. If we get a 5-minute candle close higher, I will look to trade up into this region or into here as a minor buy side area. You'll notice that a lot of my targets, or the way that I look at the markets, it's looking for smoothness across the line. So if you're thinking and looking at the charts as just a line, imagine that these were lines, it was a line. I'm looking for areas where it's close proximity. If I was to draw a line across, it would be closely related lines like this. So if you have a high there and a high there, those are closely related highs, close levels. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for it to look smooth across the top or look smooth across the bottom. So here we had smooth highs, and I like that as a draw on liquidity. So what I'm looking for here, and what we're waiting for right now, around 8 o'clock, this is 8 o'clock right here. This starts the time window of when I'm starting to look for a trade. If we can get a 5-minute candle close higher, then I will look to trade long and we'll target these highs. That's kind of what I'm looking for as a setup right now. I don't have anything other than that. That's the only idea right now I have as a trade. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen, and I'm okay with that. That's part of trading. So since we took out this sell side liquidity, we're looking for a reaction off of that level, and we want to see some kind of bullishness. In this case, I want to see, like I said, a 5-minute candle. I'm going to switch to a different chart here. So we have our main chart on our left-hand side, and this is going to be our entry time frame on the 1-minute chart on the left. So once we get a 5-minute candle closure, I can look at the 3-minute. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, I like that. So we got a 3-minute candle closure above this level, which I really like. I'll wait for... Over here, I'll wait for an entry mechanism to get into this trade. If it can come back and touch this level, I would really like to see it come back and touch this. This is a ICT inversion fair value gap. I really like that as a level to take a trade on. So we'll see if we can get a reaction from that. If you're in the chat before we take a trade, just let me know that you're here. Appreciate you joining today. And if you're watching the replay of it, welcome again. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. So I'm waiting to see if it will come back and touch this level right here at the top. So that's what I'm waiting for as a setup. And if it goes without me, it goes without me. I'm okay with that too. This is also a potential entry level right there. If it comes back and touches that, we'll be buying. I've got my finger on the trigger just in case. If it doesn't give me an entry, that's okay. If it just continues up to these highs, that was my target. It just didn't give me an entry into it, a clean entry for what I would want. Where it's at right now, it would have to retrace down into this level right here where this line is in order for me to take a trade. I'm not chasing it, even though it has a high degree, high probability to go up into these highs. That's what I'm looking for. And it may just run without me. If it doesn't come back soon, then we will have missed the trade, and that's okay. Let's see what we get. It's too far, excuse me. It's too far for me now. There's no entry. As you can see, the market right now is screaming higher. So, missed a trade. That's okay. There was no entry. As you can see, it just kind of took off without me. And that happens sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that. I would have really liked to see this candle kind of come down and touch here. But as you can see, it's just climbing higher up into this smooth level. You can see on a 1 minute chart, that's a smooth level right there. And that's where price is going to reprice to and take out anybody who was short right here. The reason why it's smooth right here is because a lot of traders have placed their stop losses right there. If they were going short and targeting something down here like this or something below this, they placed their stop losses right here. And the way that I trade is I try to fade what most people do. There's a statistic out there that 99 or 95% of traders lose money trading. And if there's 99% of people that are losing money trading, then there also has to be on the flip side of that 90 to 95 people that are making money to take those people's money. So I try to be on the winning side instead of the follow the masses. So we might get a retracement right here. It might come down into like a level right here before it touches that. I can't take an entry right here just because it's too close to these. I want to be down here, get a way better fill on my entry than something like this. This is just not worth it in terms of risk for me. So like I said, you'll get a reaction off of this most likely. It might come down into this area as well, but it's just too extended to my target for me to take a trade. So we won't be risking anything on this setup. And that's okay. Big thing is we kind of identified where the market was likely to go if we swept below this level, and then we got a candle closure above it, and then we got a little bit of retracement in this candle, and the market just kind of screamed higher. So no entry, unfortunately, but dang, I was accurate on my levels, so I'm happy with that. We'll see what it wants to do in the next couple minutes. It should hit it pretty soon. I don't expect it to wait. Everybody who has jammed their stop losses at this level, if they went short, they're getting nervous now. And if I was the market, I would want to quickly take them out. Don't give them false hope that it's going to reverse and go down. I would want to be as as ruthless as possible. Take out this level and don't let them have an opportunity to re-enter short. The market's a cannibal. The market is, it'll take everyone and everybody's money. On the flip side of that, there's got to be a winning party. So if you're losing money, that means that someone is making money. And obviously the goal is to lose as much money as possible, or lose as much as least amount as possible, not as much as possible, but the least amount of loss as possible. So don't follow the masses if you wanna be good at trading. Let's take a look at something real quick. There we go, just a little bit more. Let's see what we get here. Just a little bit more and I'll be satisfied. Nothing yet. It can come down into this level. Even if it comes down into here, I wouldn't be interested in taking a trade if it hits this level. If it wants to leave this level untouched, that's okay with me. We never entered into anything. If we were looking for the bare minimum entry, let's go to this chart. If we were just looking at a bare minimum entry, this would be long right here. This would be our stop loss, and our take profit would be at that level. If we were just using a 3-minute chart as an entry, if we were looking at a 5-minute chart, it would look like that. And our stop loss would be extended. It's about 49 for 50 handles, something like that, and our target would be 36. That's why I went down to the 3-minute chart, is to see what kind of reaction we would get. We didn't quite hit this level, not yet, but that's an upside down trade. I don't want to risk more than I would be willing to make. So I moved down to the 3-minute chart, and it was already trading in this candle. So I tried to wait for a retracement, and it got up to almost our level. I'm okay with that. It might come down into here and then trade back up, but I'm not going to be interested in taking a trade. I would have traded here. I would have taken a partial off right here at this high and then waited for it to trade up into here with a couple more contracts, and then trailed my stop loss to this level right here. So you can see we're starting to get a stronger reaction off of this level. This is a gap on a 1-minute chart. This is a fair value gap. Here's the 3-minute chart, and then here's the 1-minute chart. It's a nice reaction off of the mid level of that gap. If we can stay above a candle close above this level that is bullish to me, and I'd look for it to trade into this and then possibly that. That's if we can get above this orange level and that 50% level that you see right here in the middle of that extended box. If we can have a candle close above that, that's what I like to see. That's a bullish opportunity right there. Again, I won't be taking any trades. It's too extended. It's too close to my target. I would have liked to get in down here, or if it came back and touched this level. Nice reaction again off of that midpoint of that fair value gap. If we can stay above it, then it stays bullish. That's what I'd like to see. And we're starting to trade lower. There is this level as well. We came down into this. Again, I'm not interested in this just because we traded so close to that target that we had, that buy side liquidity. Literally just fell short of it just a little bit. So, like I said, if I would have got in down here, we would have taken a partial at this high right here and then waited for it to trade up into here, into this level and then this level, and trailed our stop to in profit. We probably would have got stopped out right there, which is totally okay. But we'll see if it wants to take out this target. We haven't taken a trade yet. That's okay. It probably won't because my setup would have happened around 8 o'clock and we didn't get the entry that we wanted. So that's fine. That happens. It's part of trading. I do like that reaction right there off of that level that I had indicated earlier. If we can get a candle, like I said, even though it came down here, that's a nice reaction off of this level. See if we can get a candle to close above 50% of that level. That would really lean heavily on them taking out this buy side liquidity pool that I had marked out. Ben, it's been a while since you've even looked at a chart. Well, welcome back. This is your reintroduction. We're trying to simplify it. We're not trying to get fancy with it. So we'll keep it simple. Let's see. Let's see if we can get a little pop right here. The market's trying to decide which direction it's going to go. We'll see if it gets a little pop up. If we can get like a single candle that just kind of pops up like that, that's what I'm looking for. I like that. If it can close higher, then we're in a good spot. See how it touched that level again, that blue line? Touched it once, twice. Now I want to see if it has a willingness to trade higher. The other thing is the market in August. Of course, I decided to start doing this in August. August is historically the hardest month to trade in, whether it's stocks, futures, what we're trading, any market. August is kind of the hardest time to trade. The volatility is low, and the market just kind of does some weird things sometimes, things that you wouldn't expect. Very rapid, quick, sudden, snappy moves that you would have anticipated to move quickly, move even faster. Just like here, this is something that I would have anticipated it. If we could have had it come down and touch this level, we would have been in a trade. But the runs are quicker, the decisions have to be faster. Sometimes it doesn't give you the perfect entries. And so I elect to be a little more selective in my trades in August. If this was another month, we would have thought about getting into a trade, even though it didn't quite come down and touch this. We would have thought about getting into a trade right here somewhere live, just because the market is erratic a little bit right now. It's trying to decide if it wants to go up or down, in at least from my point of view, in my opinion. It's at a critical point right now where it wants to decide if it wants to go up or down, long, short term, medium term price ranges. So short outlook, I like shorts right now. Shorts have been most of the price runs short or going lower have been better than trades going higher. In this case, we have a really, really rapid movement higher. But if you look back, you can see you get some really nice price runs lower. And this is what I would have capitalized on or would have liked to capitalize on this afternoon. Very simple again. You're looking for areas where there's liquidity, which is at highs and at lows. So and here's a short-term low. So I was looking for it to, I would have looked to go short on this when it came up here, broke up once there, came up once more there, get a nice displacement to the downside here, and you can look for kind of like what it does here. It kind of comes up into this area. This is what I would have liked to see during our evening session tonight, is it kind of pierce up into one of these fair value gaps, and then I would have traded short to this sell side. That's the model that I'm looking for. On a 3-minute chart, this is what it looks like over here, where you have a buy side liquidity pool, and then you have it pierce up, break above it, and then reject it. And then here's our fair value gap on a 1-minute chart, and this is what it looks like on a 3-minute chart. And then you have these lows down here and this low that could have been a partial target right here. And then once we take profit there, move your stop loss to break even or just slightly in profit, and then let it trade down to these lows. That's kind of what I was looking for in the evening session tonight, but that did not pan out. We got a nice reaction off of that level again. We traded above it, candle close above it, that's bullish. Now we're starting to move higher. We got another candle closure above that 50% level of that gap that we had established. That's a bullish sign. I would like to see it start moving up into that buy side. We'll see if we get it here. I'd like to see a big candle kind of close up into this range, up into here. I'd really like to see that. I said I wasn't going to call 1 minute candles, but looking at the charts, there's certain things that I want to see happen, and that's something that I would like to see happen is a big bullish candle that would signify a bullish move. Yep, just like that. That's exactly what we're looking for. Think of these levels as stepping stools or steps in the price ladder. You may come down and then it may touch a level, and then once it starts climbing up, you want to see it start climbing up like stairs. We hit this one, came down, broke above it again. Now we're climbing up into this one. It may come down just a little bit, touch that, and then trade up into this buy side liquidity pool. And sometimes trading is just waiting for a good reaction. There we go. I like that. Break above that. Now I'd like to see it quickly move up into this buy side. Don't give people an opportunity to go short and build on their positions. There's people who had stop losses here. Remember how I said that? And then they've added more here if they're going short on like a breakout or a trend line idea. So this is where they've added more to their shorts and they're starting to get nervous. I'd like to see them quickly take that out. We'll see if it gives it to us. Come on, just a little bit more. I know you can do it. take this level off the chart. That was just for demonstration purposes. You can see on a 3-minute chart, gave a really nice reaction off of that level, hit it once, traded just below it, filled this gap that we had marked out completely, filled it all the way to the bottom to the very tick, and then hit it again one more here, and now we're trading higher. I try to pay attention to this time frame, whatever I have on the left side of my chart, since it's a higher time frame chart. I don't try to get lost on the 1-minute chart. I'll look at the 1-minute chart for entries, but I'm really focused on watching how price reacts and how price behaves on a 5-minute chart to what I have marked up on a 1-minute chart. So they're correlated in the way that I'm looking for a higher time frame narrative. I'm looking for a higher time frame premise. And then my lower time frame that I have on my right side of my chart is more of my entry, more looking down at the details. That's what I'm looking for. So this just needs to go just a little bit more and I'll be satisfied. Even though I didn't take a trade, this is great practice to say, okay, I had my levels calibrated correctly. My market analysis was on point. We talked about how it could potentially use these levels and then start trading up into here higher. I wasn't worried about it retracing down in here. It can do that sometimes. Sometimes it won't go all the way up into there. It'll have a retracement and then move up into the level that you wanted, and that's okay. If you can read where the market is going, that's one of the most important skills I think I've learned as a trader, is having these targets, identifying them, and then knowing when price is going to react and move towards those targets. Just like loading up a silver bullet in your firearm and aiming it at the target. That's exactly what we're doing. I know you'll probably look at this 1-minute chart. Don't get lost right here. What we would like to see is a nice little pop. Just kind of trades, and then just kind of pops up into here. And a lot of traders will take that by surprise. They'll say, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting it to start trading lower. If you're using classical trading methodologies, trend lines or moving averages or things like that, that's where they kind of get stuck trading, is their trend lines don't always follow what price is doing. So I stay away from trend lines. I use chart analysis, candlestick analysis, if you want to call it that. But the person that I learned trading from, his name is ICT, or the Inner Circle Trader. So he has content on YouTube. And he goes over how to trade the Silver Bullet model. I try to take a very simple approach with it and try to make it my own. Some of the things that he teaches in that model aren't necessarily things that I employ, so I try to form fit it to what I would like to use in his concepts and his analysis, and use it to try to make money. Get a little dip down, see how it touches the top of that gap. I wouldn't like to see it really drop down below the low of this. I would really like to see it stay above it and kind of use this as a springboard if it needs to get up into this buy side liquidity pool. I'm really looking for just kind of like a pop up into this buy side is the reaction that I'd like to see. And there it is. Just like that. Boom. A nice little pop up into that level. That's where we would have placed our take profit. And there you go. There's your target practice with the Silver Bullet methodology using ICT concepts. Nothing fancy. I think that we'll wrap up the stream here with this. So just to kind of do an overview of what we looked at in the charts. I was looking for a setup around 8 o'clock, which is right here. The setup is a sweep of liquidity with a candle close higher, which we got here on the 3-minute chart. And then we were looking at the 5-minute chart originally. I saw that it had the potential to run really fast, so I went down to a 3-minute chart. It was trading about right here when I moved down to that 3-minute chart, and I was waiting for a reaction down into this level. We never got that, so I let the trade run and ultimately retrace back. We outlined the levels that it could potentially move down to and then build back up. And this was our target all along, was this smooth level right here. That was the level that we identified at the beginning of the stream. So if you enjoyed the stream, give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll be streaming again tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern time. We'll start the stream. That's when we'll start looking for a trade. We'll start the stream about 9:10, 9:15-ish. So join tomorrow. We'll be looking to take a trade in the morning. So again, if you like the video, like and subscribe, share with other people that you think may be interested in watching live price action and trading with precision concepts. Thanks everybody. Have a great evening. We'll catch you tomorrow.